plaintiff, Hannah Barton, says she first dated the defendant when she was in high school. And years later, they reconnected, had sex, and she ended up pregnant. Hannah claims when she was 5 months pregnant, the defendant took off without notice, and she's suing him today for unpaid rent. Defendant Joe Alvarez says when he found out Hannah was pregnant, he was ecstatic. But after they moved in together, Joe became suspicious because Hannah was constantly getting calls from other men. As a result, Joe has doubts about fathering Hannah's baby, so he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
Start with you.
Okay, so the defendant and I were in a relationship a long time ago, back when I was in high school. We got together when I was 16 and he was 25. We were together for about a year when I was in high school, and then I went off to college, moved out of state. We went our separate ways, didn't see him again for about 10 years. I went to visit, my hometown. We hook up, get together. Next thing you know, I'm pregnant within about a month. But at this point, I'm 27 years old. I already had one child, but he didn't have any children. So I wanted to talk to him to see, hey, how do you feel about becoming a parent? Because I'm going to have a baby. So he claims, that he's ecstatic. He's so happy. He's going to, move to the state that I live in, about 3 hours away from where he lives. He's going to move there. We're going to get a house together. He's going to, raise our child together. He's going to be a stepdad to my, 2-year-old daughter.
And you believed him 1 month?
I believed him because,
Right.
I knew him a long time ago. I knew his family. He was always a hardworking guy.
You hadn't seen him in 10 years.
I know, I hadn't seen him in 10 years.
Been a crackhead by then.
He could have been. So, I knew that, or I thought I knew that, at least I know he's going to be a great dad. He'd take care of his family. He's a hardworking guy. Let's try to make a go at this. We found a house together to rent. We moved in together. He got a job up there. Flash forward to October. I'm about 5 months pregnant. October 30th, I go to my shift at work. I get off work, come home. His stuff's gone. His clothes are gone, his car is gone.
All right, let me allow him to give some background before we get to the specifics of the lawsuit. Sir, you want to give him some background?
Well, like she said that, we used to date before. We got back together. A month later, she told me she was pregnant. I move in, but it was kind of weird because she was acting kind of funny.
Just curious, did you think it was wise for you all to get pregnant after not seeing each other for 10 years?
Well, I'm already 37. I have no kids.
Okay.
So I'm kind of ecstatic to have my first child. I'm ready to go for it.
All right.
So I went over there. So when I was there,
tell me what you did. I know what happened when you went over there.
When I actually fully moved there.
When you moved in, okay.
I had to, liquidate some of my stuff, and, she wasn't acting the same as it was when we first got together.
After you moved in?
After I moved in.
See, 10 years, you don't know.
Well, she wasn't as close as it was before.
But she switched up on you once you moved in.
She switched up on me. She started receiving calls from other people, or from other guys. So I really didn't agree with that.
When you'd ask her about it, what would she say?
I didn't.
Why?
It was just everything that I did, she usually got mad. From every little thing that I did.
Like what? What would you do wrong?
For one thing, she told me to put up some picture frames one time. I put up the picture frames. And she's like, who in the right mind would do this? Look, they're crooked. And she just pointed out how bad they were. To me, I was like, all right, couldn't she just,
they were up next to the ceiling. They look bad. Yeah, I was pregnant, I probably did have, a little bit of mood swings. I probably wasn't the easiest person to get along with, Right. But at the same time, I was pregnant. And at this point, he wasn't showing any interest in the pregnancy. He wouldn't come to doctor's appointments with me, didn't ask how do you feel? Have you eaten? Have you taken your prenatal vitamins? Anything that guys that you're pregnant by should ask, I would think.
In many instances, that's normal for a woman to have mood swings during pregnancy. Many instances, not always. Sir, is that the reason you say you packed up and left without notice, if you did?
Just, she would remind me constantly. She said, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you moved out, if you went back to Kentucky.
And that was because what?
I wasn't established there. I wasn't, making as much money as I was.
You wasn't paying the bills.
And she did encourage you to move?
I did that. Well, we did that we agreed to that.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, you all made the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, is that true?
I told him about halfway through October, we'd had the place 4 months, he hadn't paid any rent. And I said, either you have to start paying your half of the rent, and in addition to that, the rent that I've covered for you for the past 4 months, or you have to go.
All right. And what rent do you believe he owes you for? What months?
So the prorated rent from June, we didn't move in till around the 20th, so $125 for the
How much
month
was
of June.
the prorated?
It was $250 for the remainder of the month that we moved in. And then $1,000 a month after that. So his half, just $500 for July, August, September, and October.
All right. Sir, what do you say to this?
I gave her money. It's like I just didn't just stay there just for free.
All right. So you gave her the total amount she sold
I
you
gave
for.
her. I gave her the cash and stuff. But I didn't think we were going to, this
All right. Do you know how much you gave her?
$2,000.
Okay. So the total amount she's suing for.
Yeah.
I say yes.
Yes.
And you paid her each month? That's how you paid?
I paid her $1,000 in July. I remember that. And then.
Which I put towards utilities, which you
Hold
also.
on, ma'am. Hold on. Go ahead.
And then I gave her $500 in August.
Okay.
And then I gave her $500 in October. And that's
Okay. Now, was there an agreement to split the utilities?
verbal.
Okay. So have you included that?
No.
All right. Did he give you $2,000? Let's start there.
No, he never gave me $2,000. He gave me a little bit of cash here and
Do you
there.
know how much?
Total maybe $500.
Maybe. All right. And he says-
Approximately $500 for the entire time he lived there, which utilities are running.
And you say he did work or didn't?
he did
I
have a
wasn't
job.
clear
Yes,
on that.
he did have a job.
And what would you say the first month when they didn't give you any money, knowing that he worked? What'd you say?
I asked him about it. He said, his pay, he just started working, the pay periods. My first check was too small. Next time I'll give it to you.
Next time, what happened? He didn't give you any?
Next time he said, I get paid Friday. I'll give it to you Friday.
And when Friday came and went, what did you say?
I said, hey, do you have the money? And he said, oh, no, I don't have it. I'll have it next month.
Did he give you a reasonable explanation?
Never gave me any explanation. I'm a reasonable
Next
person.
month came and what did he say?
After a couple months, I just said, I'm not going to be a sucker anymore. You either have to start paying or you have to go.
And what did he say?
He just he didn't say anything then. He just said, okay. And I thought that meant that, okay, like he's going to start paying, but he just meant, okay, I guess he'll go.
And the utilities, he agrees that he didn't pay anything on that. Any evidence?
I've got the rent receipts.
Let's see them, but any evidence of a discussion perhaps, a letter, a note on the door saying, I'm leaving you tomorrow and I'm not paying you a dime?
He did it pretty quiet just while I was at work, just came home.
And what has occurred since the birth of the child?
So the rest of my pregnancy, he never, called to check on me to see, hey, when's the baby going to be born? How are you doing? Is the baby healthy? Is it a boy or a girl? Anything like that. So she was born last month.
Healthy?
Healthy, yes. And
Do you have a picture?
I do.
Let's see. What a pretty little lady. Yeah, I hate to inform you, ma'am, but this man ain't handsome enough to produce a baby. So we don't even need those test results. I'm just kidding. Hopefully, it is as you all knew it to be until he owed you money.
So he did show up at the hospital to see her the day after she was born for about 15, 20 minutes. He did hold her, didn't say a word to me, didn't bring so much as a card, a teddy bear for the baby, nothing. Just
When did he dispute the fatherhood?
He's never said anything to me about it. So he did show up at the hospital.
This is the first time you've heard him deny paternity?
Yes.
She didn't tell me till the day after.
This is the first time you denied it, sir? When did you tell her?
I just wanted to make sure.
Did you ever tell her?
No.
Did you? So this is the first time?
This is the first time.
When you owe money?
I didn't even know we were going to get
I know,
to this.
when you owe money, if this is when you question the paternity.
But don't you think...
Other than that, don't I think what?
Don't you think the kid is a lot more important than the rent money?
Yeah, but you only do it. It's a coincidence that you only do it. You want to test paternity all of a sudden. So to you, the kid isn't important because up until the time you owed her money, You never questioned the paternity. Any other evidence about this debt before we get to whether he is the parent here and going to be ordered to pay when you go to child support?
I do have one text message just saying that he would have the rent money Friday. We
Let's
usually
see
talked
it,
about it in
please.
person, but one time
All
he
right,
did
sir. What do you say about that? Say you paid it all. I paid all the rent, Your Honor.
No?
Go get the test results, man. Ma'am, I don't believe you would lie. He's the liar so far. And I think as we are discovering, he would throw his child into play over $2,000 that he knows he owes because he has admitted it. This better not be your child, sir. Else you're going to show how low you are. And the paternity shows 99.999995 that you are the father, taking right to child support immediately. You want a ride? We'll give you a ride. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I guess we can move past this and go on forward.
Okay. You want to hold her?
Sure.
She's wet a lot of fingers.
She's in what?
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Beautiful.
Thank you.